Let's talk about something uncomfortable. Something almost no one dares to say out loud. Why you should give up. Yeah, you heard that right. Why you should give up. Because maybe, just maybe, giving up is not always a sign of weakness. Maybe it's not failure. Maybe giving up is a form of growth. We live in a world that constantly feeds us one message: never quit, never surrender, never give up, keep going, no matter what. And sure, there's beauty in persistence. There's value in grit. But when we worship those ideas too much, we forget the importance of wisdom. We forget the power of letting go. Think about it. Have you ever been in a situation where you knew deep down something wasn't right, but you kept pushing anyway? Because you didn't want to look weak. Because you already told everyone this was your dream. Because you invested so much time, money, effort, and identity into it. That's not strength. That's fear dressed as loyalty. We've all been there, holding on longer than we should, staying in the wrong job, the wrong major, the wrong relationship, because we're afraid of being called a quitter. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is to stop, to walk away, to say, I'm done. It doesn't make you a coward. It makes you self-aware. It makes you honest. It makes you brave enough to change. Think about how much pressure we put on ourselves to stay on the same path, as if changing direction somehow erases the value of the journey. It doesn't. The time you spent wasn't wasted. It taught you what you don't want. It helped you discover what doesn't align with you anymore. And that knowledge is priceless. Here's something most people won't tell you: the dream you had at 17 might not be the dream you need at 30. That goal you set 5 years ago may no longer serve the person you've become. And that's okay. That's not failure. That's evolution. Let me ask you a real question. Have you ever quit something and instead of regret, you felt relief? That deep breath, that internal silence, that lightness in your chest. That's not you giving up. That's your soul finally being heard. Sometimes the moment you let go is the moment your real life begins. Sometimes giving up isn't the end of the story, it's the end of a chapter that no longer fits. Why do we act like quitting is shameful? As if it's some kind of moral failure. Let's flip that, because here's what people don't understand. Quitting the wrong thing is what gives you space to find the right thing. How can you discover what truly lights you up if all your energy is going into something that's draining you? How can you grow if your entire identity is tied to something that's slowly suffocating your joy? Some of the most successful people in history are professional quitters. They quit jobs, schools, cities, careers, even entire industries until they found what aligned. J.K. Rowling was a broke single mom who quit law school. Howard Schultz left Xerox to sell coffee. Colonel Sanders started KFC after failing at dozens of jobs. These people didn't just keep pushing in one direction. They changed direction when life asked them to. You don't owe your past self anything except honesty. Let me say that again. You don't owe your past self anything except honesty. There is courage in walking away. There is clarity in letting go. There is power in saying, this no longer serves me. Of course, there are things worth fighting for. Not every obstacle is a sign to quit. Some things are meant to be hard because they matter. But that's where self-awareness comes in. Not every hill is worth dying on. Not every fight is worth staying in. So, how do you know when it's time to give up? Ask yourself, is this draining me more than it's building me? Am I doing this because I want to or because I'm afraid to stop? If I let this go, would I feel regret or relief? And most importantly, does staying in this situation make me a better version of myself or a smaller one? Because here's what happens when you hold on too long: you start shrinking. You start hiding parts of yourself just to make it work. You betray your curiosity. You silence your instincts. You wake up one day and realize you're not living. You're just performing a role, filling a space you've outgrown. Let me tell you something. You are allowed to outgrow things. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to outgrow dreams. You are allowed to change. If you feel stuck, exhausted, numb, it might not be because you're lazy. It might be because you're done. And your soul knows it. The world doesn't need more people pushing through misalignment. It needs more people brave enough to pivot. You're not a quitter. You're not weak. You're not lost. You're just ready for something new. And that's beautiful. There's no medal for staying in the wrong story. But there's peace in writing a new one that fits who you are today. So, if no one's given you permission to give up before I will, you have permission to walk away. You have permission to try something new. You have permission to admit that you want more. And if you give up and feel regret, that's okay. It means you cared. It means you learned. It means you're alive. But if you give up and feel peace, that's not failure. That's alignment. That's truth. So next time you're stuck, next time your gut is screaming, next time you feel like you're dragging yourself through something that no longer feels right, ask yourself this: who am I doing this for? Because if the answer isn't you, you already know what to do. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You just need honesty and the courage to act on it. If this message spoke to you, don't just keep scrolling. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and drop a comment below. Share your story. Tell us what you let go of and what you found on the other side. You never know. Your story might give someone else the strength to choose peace over pressure, to choose truth over image, to choose themselves. Let's grow together.